So for our Nordic hamstring curls, if you have a partner, this is the easiest way to go. So your partner is gonna sit behind you and hold down your ankles. Now he's gotta push pretty hard because your whole body weight's gonna be coming down. So if he's light, then you're gonna lift him up. So he's gotta put a little bit of force in there. Now I like to use a foam roller. So you put the front of your ankle on a foam roller and then you kind of dig your toes into the ground, and it's just a little bit more comfortable on the ankles. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't have a partner, so this is how we would do it without a partner. I would set up a barbell. I'd make sure it's nice and heavy. Make sure you got weights on both sides. If you have a rack, then put it on the inside of the rack and then you put a weighted plate on the other side so that the barbell is not gonna roll. If you don't have a rack, we would use the barbell and then we would put a weight behind it and we would put another 45-pound plate in front of it. So it's still kind of trapped in there and it's not gonna roll back and forth. This is optional, but I like to use this because it's a little bit softer. So I just use a pad there. And then you always need a pad for your knees. All right, so this is your setup. Now from here, a lot of people go tall and they come down. If you're super advanced, that's fine. I would rather see a little bit of hip flexion. So we're initially in just a little bit of hip flexion, and then from there, we're going down. I want you to go basically as slow as you can, or 4 seconds. All the way down, this is a lowering exercise. Once I get to the bottom, I'm gonna push back up, and I'm coming all the way back up pretty fast. You don't have to go slow on the way up. So initial hip flexion. From there, I'm not bending the hips more. I stay in this initial hip flexion and I slowly lower, 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 push off and come back up. If you can get a light push off, that's great. A lot of you guys, to start, you're gonna have to really push off hard to get back up. Otherwise, you're gonna get stuck halfway up. So if you get extremely good at this, we can eventually either go a very light tap, or there's some people who have such good strength to body weight ratios, they can just put their hands behind their back and do the whole thing. Now, you might cramp up on this exercise if you're not used to this intense of a hamstring contraction. It's a very hard hamstring contraction. So if you cramp, then stretch it out. Try to get back into it, but this might be a little bit too advanced and your hamstrings aren't quite used to it yet. So just try to make it easier or come up with an alternative if you continue to cramp. Now, the other mistake that people make is they point the toes and they go from there. A lot of times your calf will start to cramp when you're in that position. So I like to go toes kind of straight down into the ground. So I'm digging into the ground, and then I get a lot less in the calf, and I really just feel it straight through the hamstrings, through the glutes, and then you should feel a little bit through the low back as well.